I am fat. Well, fatter than I've ever been before. Certainly considered overweight or obese when it comes to the weight scale. I've been that way since college, and I am currently, well, constantly, progressively, getting fatter. I'm 28 years old now, and my metabolism is starting to slow, and the impact of consuming sugar and soda and fast food and heavy amounts of salt and calories on the daily is slowly leading to me getting, well, fat. I mean, I'd certainly have a bit of a gut. And I don't like it. I feel very uncomfortable showing or feeling exactly how fat I am. It's not the person that I see in my mind. It's not often the person that I see in the mirror until, of course, I see a photo of myself or I'm stepping out of the shower and I have a towel wrapped around my waist and I think to myself, well, there's an extra 20 or 30 of you that didn't used to be there. I'm fat. And I'm not as fat as other people. My dad and grandfather, for one, show a trajectory that I could follow, and I'd prefer not to. And I believe both of them would encourage me not to as well. So, to start off this 30-day challenge, I'm going to address the thing that's probably bothering me the most, from my respiratory health to snoring to the quality of sleep I get to just my daily appearance and confidence and who I am, who I'm presenting myself to be. I don't like the current weight I'm at. I think I'm a solid 30 pounds above where I would prefer to be, and maybe 40 or 50 above where the medical team says that I should be. I think I'm right around 220. Now, I'll let you know in the very next video exactly where I am and what my daily average weekly intake of calories is so that we can set a foundation for where this 30-day challenge is going to go. We'll get into that in just a moment. But there's a few reasons why I want to change this. First off, the progression of gaining weight is something that I'd like to avoid. I don't want to continue getting bigger, and over the last few years, I've lost weight and gained weight, and lost weight and gained weight, and maybe that's the case now as well, but at least I need to get onto a cycle again of losing weight. I mean, the last year locked up with COVID spreading throughout the country has really, really made my eating habits and my overall quality of life and the amount of exercise I do, I feel like I've been sedentary for a solid year. So I'd like to start addressing that. I think it's important. I have a constant tickle in my throat and allergies and respiratory problems that are largely brought on due to a combination of allergies, just regular dust allergies and pollen allergies that my dad and I have, and I believe in inflation or whatever it's called, like water weight, swelling. And I think a lot of that's due to the amount of sugar and salt that I consume, because when I've done test runs in the past where I've cut sugar from my diet, I did the full carnivore diet for a solid few months, I have found that this clears up, that my snoring clears up, that my constant tickle and need to take a deep breath in starts to clear up. And then I'm just online. I'm building a personal persona, and being overweight doesn't help with that. I need to be and would like to be a good representation. I'd like to be attractive and confident and feel good in my own skin. And no judgment to any of you who feel however you feel in your own bodies, but I'm talking from a personal side right now. I don't feel good like this. I don't love the way I look. I can't dress the way I want to dress. I feel like as I get bigger, I have less control and less agency over how I get to present myself. And so, for me, next step is to take ownership. I am making myself get bigger. There are steps I can take to address that, and I am willing to do so. So we're going to start with the 30-day challenge. This is the first one of all of the ones we're doing, and I know it's a little cliche to focus on weight loss, but hear me out. I think this is the one that impacts or circumferences all the others. Sets the stage for good, healthy habits, gets my mind clear, gets my emotional stability back up and running. I mean, lifting and working out is good for not only your physical health, but also substantially your mental health. And over the last year or so, especially over the last few months, my mental health has been taking a beating, just a constant pummeling. And I do not have the mental fortitude that I would like at the moment. And so I feel like I need to start taking steps that reinforce that build upon that give me a stable ground to grow from. It's an important part to this channel, to what we're working on. So here's my thoughts. Over the next week, I'm going to be tracking and documenting everything that I normally eat. My weight and body to muscle or fat to muscle ratio. I have a scale that'll track that for me. I'm going to be tracking all the calories that I consume, and I'm not going to change my habits. So I'm going to be diligent for 7 to 9 days to find out where my baseline is right now, why I am gaining weight, what is the potential consequences of what I'm consuming, and how off kilter I really am, because I feel like I'm doing pretty poor. And then, in the first update video, we're going to be starting the official 30-day challenge, where I am going to continue tracking my food for 30 days. That's what I'm committing to. I'm going to commit to exercise and lifting, at least 15 minutes, 3 to 4 days a week, combined with some degree of cardio, playing VR, doing some quick 15-minute sprint boxing, fighting in a video game, going hiking on a trail, anything that gets me moving, that gets my heart rate up. I'd like to do that for the remaining days. I'd like every day to have some form of exercise or weightlifting. And along with that, with tracking my food and doing a little bit of weightlifting, I am going to focus on removing or cutting or reducing the amount of sugar that I'm introducing. And one of the advice I have from a friend who's been through this journey before me, who I take a lot of advice from, Michael Matthews, he's been on this channel before talking about mental health, depression, anxiety. I would like to focus on cutting artificial sugar, added sugar from whatever I'm consuming. I'd like to get to a point where the only sugar that I'm consuming is sugar that I've chosen to add myself, or sugar that occurs naturally in fruits and vegetables and other items that I'm eating. So no more Starbursts or milkshakes or gummies for me, which will be incredibly difficult, but I can do it for 30 days. And then I'd like to document, to tell the story, to see where I succeed and fail, see what I am good at, what feels good, whether or not it addresses some of the problems, see if I lose a little bit of weight on the path. And after 30 days, I will probably carry forward some of the routines, but we'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling, how much has been zapped from me, and what I can maintain in a manageable way while we start on the next challenge, either reading and writing or working on organization or going hiking 2 times a week. There's a lot of things that I'd like to address and work on. And this is just a 30-day commitment, a 30-day experiment to see how I feel, to see where I progress, to see what the end story is. So yeah, that's the concept. That's the idea. That's what we're working on. I am overweight, and I'd like not to be. So I figure we'll give it a look, a close examination, and do our best to understand and begin moving forward. So this is the first update video on this challenge. I am giving myself a week to understand the logistics of what I'm presenting, to get myself ready mentally and physically, and to build in the routine of tracking and keeping an eye on things. And starting a week from when this video is live, we will sit down and commit and spend the next 30 days working together to focus on whatever it is that I'm facing and you're facing. What's your 30-day challenge? What are you committing yourself to? What would you like to change? Is it weight like I am? Or is it some other journey that you're going on? I'm excited to learn and hear and hold each other accountable along the way. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of this story with me. I'm looking forward to having a wider conversation. We'll see you at the end. It's only 30 days.